that was a very, very good time in
Mm.
cinema, I feel.
Yeah, I think 80s messed it up quite.
Yeah, totally. 80s is that it's that party you don't want to go to. It's like that. You
So,
just want to skip. On New Year's, you go to four parties. So out of that, that one party you can skip is the 80s.
it's the 80s. I know, and I have to say the makeup was harsh and the music was, just a noise. I'll say,
Mm. No, I
yeah.
think there was a lot of confusion was happening because a lot of different influences were coming, and this, and also somewhere what was happening when a change is coming. No, this last minute gocha happens, I suppose.
I guess so. And I was watching this Netflix docu-series, The Romantics, made
Yeah,
by
I saw it. Yeah.
Niti Mundra. I'll be interviewing her pretty soon. So I think I really loved the way she went around it, and especially, Aditya talking how cinema changed according to the social and political change in.
Yes, that's what I really liked about romantics was
Yeah.
that they juxtaposed it with the way the country was changing. you
Yes.
know
Hmm.
all through there is this parallel track running of the country changing.
Yeah.
When they talk about how what influenced and how the hero changed, I thought that was brilliant. That was a very, very it was not just cinema. I think
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
gave,
Not just, yeah.
you know there was a you identified immediately with what they were trying to say. It's a very nice series. I really liked it. They did it very well.
Yeah, yeah. And anyway, I'm being a Bollywood buff, you cannot miss and you have to admire, Yash Raj ji tremendously for
Oh
what
yes,
he's done to
that
cinema.
absolutely. I first worked with him when in Hamras because he was
Oh,
first AD.
yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah, he was the first AD to his
Uh,
brother, no, Bia
yeah, Bia
Chopra ji.
Chopra. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, he was the first AD, and I have known him then, and then nothing happened. And then he called me to do a special appearance in
Mm.
Jab Tak Hai Jaan,
Oh, yes.
and
Last.
and for me it was such a um, it was like a blessing. you
Mm.
know it's like closing a circle. And
Mm.
then, of course, later, when it happened,
Mm.
it is one of those few times when you just go on your knees and look at the universe and say, "Okay, boss, you know everything, and you do so right. Thank you so much." Because it meant so much to me to reconnect to him. First time when I worked with him, I was 5 6 years, and I
Mm.
just had memories of good people around me.
Mm.
There were so many stories I rechecked with him.
Mm.
you know when we were shooting Jab Tak Hai Jaan. Is that what happened? I was told that. I remember that. It was uh, it was so special uh, to
Mm.
do that. And it was a great opportunity, not in terms of work or career.
Mm. Mm.
At a personal level, I think it was
Yeah,
really like a blessing.
yeah. And like Bollywood, whatever people say and the image it has, and not to even call it Bollywood, Hindi cinema,
In
there,
Indian
there
cinema,
Indian
actually,
cinema,
it's
Hindi bhi nahi, ab Hindi
Indian.
nahi karo. For me, it's more, I'm from the north, so only, and I now,
Yeah,
like,
but
because
it is Indian cinema,
it is
because
Indian cinema.
yeah, no other country has the diversity we have. So
Mm.
we should make it a point to underline it.
Embrace
Uh,
it. Yes, yes,
which other country has so many languages? Mm,
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
that's a USP, and we should underline it. It's Indian cinema, which is so rich and diverse.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Now, talking about your, you took a sabbatical, and like I wasn't aware that you won the national award for costume designing also, and you were a sound designer also. So, what made you delve in these kinds of fields? Because I don't remember any actress doing anything besides acting or maybe directing. So, yeah, tell us about your experience in that. And you also went and did some theater for about 4 5 years. So, how did that go about?
The first costume and sound was basically when I conceived my first daughter, Shruti, and I had decided that
Oh,
I am not going to act anymore. I didn't
okay.
want to act, once
Yes. Hmm.
that was happening. Also, you must understand, I started at the age of 5, so I had done my run, basically.
Okay.
Uh, you know, uh, uh,
Yeah.
I had had my fill, and I
Yeah.
just didn't want to do that anymore.
Mm,
And but I have never been without work ever in my life. I've started so early.
mm,
That's the energy of my life is
mm.
to work.
Oh,
Uh, Without work, I like the only time I think the longest time I didn't work was during lockdown, and it was
mm,
quite crazy.
mm,
So I had to do something. So I went into
mm,
sound and costume. Sound I went basically because
mm.
Srivastav ji is a sound recordist who I worked with earlier as an actor.
Okay.
Um Long time back, he used to tell me a lot about sync sound, where you don't dub the film.
Mm, mm,
And he had done some Hollywood films. So
mm.
he used to tell me all that. In Hollywood, they don't, dub, they have sync sound. You'd shoot it,
Oh,
you record it while shooting, and they use the track. And as an actor, I was very fascinated because
yeah.
I feel dubbing takes away at least 30% of your performance.
Oh,
uh, uh,
okay.
because there is a physicality in your voice
Voice. Mm,
when you're acting. When you're dubbing, that physicality goes away from your
mm,
voice because you're standing in one place. थोड़ा वो, it becomes a bit fake for me personally. So I was very fascinated. Then I used to keep talking to him about sound, and he used to say this and that. So I think that inspiration came from my discussions with him. So I
mm,
started doing sounds, and I love doing sounds. I
mm,
think that was my favorite in all the diversions I've taken is doing
mm.
sound. It was very good.
Oh,
And then, of course, I did costumes and all that because I had to work.
yes.
I had to do something. So that
But
was
yeah, it is
the
kind of
reason.
ironic because you say you don't like, you like to be simple and this thing, and you won a national award for costume design. So, creativity comes from within, I'll say. It doesn't matter.
No, also, I think that is also because as an actor, I was very conscious. So when I went into costume, I think the actor in me went with me. Is
Oh,
I even when I used to act, I used to be very careful and conscious of
mm,
what colors I'm wearing. If it's I feel colors and all that play a big role in
very true. Mm.
what kind. And there is a difference between fashion designing and costume designing.
Hmm. True.
So if
Yes.
what you're doing for films is not fashion designing,
Fashion.
it's costume designing. And
Yeah.
I think that comes being an actor, you take that with you. So for me, it was an extension of my creativity,
Oh,
in that sense. I used to have costume scripts for everybody, like,
mm,
you know, all
yes.
scenes and all that. So that way it was a little different. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. You see, a film as a whole with everything, sound, costume.
Yes, yes, because I used to do the whole film. So you had a script for all the characters,
Yeah.
and you had color
Mm,
assigned to each character, to scenes. And I used to have these conversations, and I was very fortunate in working with very good DOPs and
yes.
set directors,
Mm,
because I always would like to, three departments I feel:
mm.
costume, DOP, and sets. They should
Oh, okay.
have a combined uh, vision.
Mm,
What are going to be the tones that the DOP is going to give,
mm.
and what are the colors on the set? Is my costume clashing with that?
Oh,
Uh, all those kind of things. If you do it properly, you can have so much fun doing it, and the qualities of work is better for all three of us.
yeah. Yeah. And generally, what I'm seeing in the big commercial movies these days, most of the heroines, they are into, they have their own stylist, they have their own, the whole
Yeah.
entourage. So it seems like a fashion,
Yeah,
designing
it
to
is.
me rather than
Yeah, it
costume.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. But there are some very good works also. I see some
yeah,
nowadays. There's some lot of work. Not now. I mean, for the past 10 years, I think costume designing has become very good in Indian cinema.
yes.
Uh, so many of them. They look. They're doing costume design, and they're very talented
I love
people
Sanjay
out there.
Leela Bansali. I mean, he does it on such a huge scale, but he is such a stickler for everything, So if you go
Yeah.
and, if I, as an audience, if you have to just watch Sanjay Leela Bansali for his costumes and stuff. So I really admire his work, uh, you know.
I think Mr. Sanjay Leela Bansali is that visual director. He's the director version of somebody like, you know, Dali for me,
Oh,
because he creates these
it's,
beautiful dream like
yeah.
visuals, like his colors and his, like, I remember Guzarish when I saw. Uh,
हाँ, गुज़ारिश में भी एक कलर टोन था. There was a color
कलर
tone.
इतना
Yes.
खूबसूरत था.
Yes,
Even
absolutely.
now, see what this is the power of a director who is visually very strong. When I
Mm.
think Guzarish, I see a lot of blues. It comes along with the
Summary
memory.
also. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those shots when he's looking at the roof. And I think Mr. Bansali really, really has that. He actually paints the frame for you. It's so beautiful.
You said that he's a visual, director. He
Yeah.
sees anything in visuals. So coming back to Unchai, which is now playing on Z5, listeners. So if you've not seen Unchai, do catch it. It's a very, very warm and heartwarming film, I'll say. And I have the main lead here, Sarika ji, with me. And Sarika, you had such amazing actors, co-actors in the movie. Boman Irani was there,
Yeah.
Anupam Kher, Amitabh we
Yeah.
talked about, and Meena Gupta, who is like, doing so well and these days. And so tell me a little bit about how that went. And the visuals were so stunning. I am from Himachal, so I enjoyed all the,
Oh,
yeah, the, Himalayan base camp and everything. So tell us a little bit about that.
Chai was like it became when it started off. I didn't, sometimes you feel this project is going to be very special.
Okay.
uh,
Mm.
it's all basically that in feeling comes from the script and uh, actors that your co-stars and the
Yes.
script basically. But
Mm.
some films like Unchai start with very good but end up becoming so special. And I
Mm.
think in Unchai,
Mm.
the ingredient that made it so special, at least for me,
Mm.
I'm talking about myself, is
Okay.
Suraj Barchatia.
Oh,
Like
yes.
100% credit goes to
Mm.
Mr. Suraj Barchatia.
Okay.
Surajji is a director of a different kind. I have worked with so many directors,
Mm.
and I have worked as an actor, as a technician. Like, I've
Mm.
been fortunate to experience this whole thing with different kinds of director, but I have never ever seen any director like Surajji. He is so different.
Mm.
And I was just telling a very active friend of mine who's very young,
Mm.
in his 30s, and I was trying to tell him about Surajji, and then I stopped and I said, you know what, I don't think I can tell you. You have to just work with him to experience it. And Unchai's entire energy, what you see in the film, on the screen, behind the screen, and everything,
Mm.
uh, there's so much that went into Unchai,
Mm. Mm.
and the whole credit is Surajji's to hold all of us together.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
it's not easy when you're working with so many
Mm.
actors, and how do you
Mm.
sort of work it out? But it came so easily to him. He is so down to earth, so humble, so disciplined.
Mm.
For him, he has that discipline for himself. So
Yeah.
he doesn't have to tell anybody else because we can see that. And
Mm.
then we follow the lead, basically.
Ah.
And he was so comfortable. He
Mm.
has so many little things he does as a director, which I have not seen any director
Oh,
do.
okay.
And suddenly, by the time we finished the film,
Mm.
it had become such a special experience. And
Mm.
uh, it was, of course, Rashri also, because I'd done Geeta
Absolutely.
Tachal. So it was
Yeah.
like a homecoming, you
Uh-huh.
know. So that was amazing. And then we had this 1 month schedule in Nepal
Oh.
where, you know, we really went to different locations. Every time Surajji would bring us back to Kathmandu and
Mm.
then take us back, bring us back, take us back, because we were increasing the height, with every
Ah,
location.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, and we had choppers, and we would just be, or choppers became like auto rickshaw, basically.
Okay. Yeah, because
Mat,
uh-huh.
matlab, we have flown so much in choppers for Uchai. Like now, I have absolutely no fascination for choppers. It was really like an auto rickshaw. We'll come, rest for one day, then get back into the chopper and go somewhere else. But that was all. Once you reach the location, no cars, no nothing. You had to walk down to the location morning, 1.5 hours to 1 hour 45 minutes, then walk and climb the whole day shooting. And
Yeah.
then when you're coming back, Namritaji, that going down time becomes double because you've
Yes,
been
I
walking the
know.
whole. Oh God, it is like, I'm telling you, I felt like I am done climbing. I'm not doing it in 1 month. जिसको बोलते हैं इतनी मतलब कि आप कहीं भी जाना है, you have to walk. There is no other way. I remember one time we came back. I think it was the third
Mm.
return trip,
Mm.
and by then I think we were all very tired from doing this climbing and up and down. And the chopper stopped, and next to the chopper was a car.
Mm.
And I looked at it, I ran and I hugged the car
Oh.
because I could not believe that I don't have to walk. There is a car, something called a car, and
Mm.
this car will take me to the hotel. I don't have to walk like for 2 hours. There's
Mm.
something that will take me. It had come to that stage. It was very
Mm.
kind of a difficult
I
schedule,
can I
but the
know.
locations were so beautiful. My God.
Gorgeous. Yes. Yeah.
Uh, I mean, to see it on a big screen is a different experience altogether.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed watching the movie, and your character was wonderful. Quiet but extremely
I
sensitive.
really liked her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I liked Mala very much, especially because she was not talking very much. I thought
Yes,
that
that's
was very interesting.
yes.
How do you, but also because it was written very well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you could play with it
Mm.
without saying much. So you're
Same.
there,
Mm.
and you just work hard. Your job becomes doubly this thing, that
Yeah.
you need to be, you shouldn't get lost. But that was the beauty of that character, to keep quiet and not talk much. I really like that.
Yeah, because I loved the interaction, between you. I mean, more so it was one way, like Bowman Irani, when he keeps
Oh
saying
yes.
Benji, Benji.
He was,
I
and
know. And you just
he
look at
was, and he's so good. The funny scenes. Also, there's
it.
something Bamanji did which was very nice.
Yeah.
See, this is what happens when you're working with good actors. There is a back and forth, and they
Yes.
bring so much to the table, which
Mm.
also goes beyond the writing.
Mm.
That scene where because I'm the outsider basically in the film, if you notice, except
Yes.
for the last two scenes, she's the
Yes.
outsider.
Uh,
They are a gang. She's the outsider,
yes.
and
Okay.
then that whatever happens and everything, and in that one scene when I give him the tea,
mm,
and he takes that cup, when he took that cup, na,
mm.
that's not cup, I'm sorry, the glass,
Yes.
and immediately while the shot was going on, I said, okay, now this is the point from where I have to start performing differently,
Mm.
because he opens that door for her.
Mm.
You understand? Because
Yeah,
till
yeah.
then,
Then they
so
accept,
he,
kind of accept you as a,
yes, that is the
Yes.
first acceptance
Ah.
in the film, which
Mm.
comes when he takes that. If you remember that glass he takes when we are
Ah,
sitting,
अभी मैंने देखा. Yes,
and in the
yes.
shot when it
Mm,
was happening, immediately my mind was racing, and I'm saying, okay, now my performance changes. So
mm.
he has opened this door. That these are the beautiful moments
Well,
that you
yes.
enjoy as an actor. It is, oh, it's such a beautiful process to be an actor. It's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, yeah, I know. So for all the listeners, if you've not watched Unchai, please do so on Z5 now. And talking about outsiders, Sarika, you've been in the film industry for so long, and your both your lovely daughters are also a part of it now. They are beautiful singers. I know Shruti, I've heard, sings so well. Do you consider, and you have a different persona, unlike so many other stars who've been in the industry, do you consider yourself an outsider even now?
Not at all. I
Okay.
was never an outsider. When you join
Okay.
at the age of 5,
Hmm.
uh, uh, the industry is, it's just not my biological mother, it's like that. But
Okay. Oh. Hmm. Hmm.
when you come at 5, what do you know? What else do you know? This is your
Hmm.
world, this is your family. It
Hmm.
is beyond being an insider or an outsider. These are people have grown up with, you
Hmm.
know uh, you you grow up in front of the whole country,
Hmm.
and all that growing up happens on the sets.
Hmm. Hmm.
So for me, it is a family. This is my family. uh,
Good to know. Good to know. Yeah. Yeah. And lastly, any advice that your kids give you or you have given your, daughters, do's and don'ts?
मैं तो I don't like to give advice, to be
अच्छा.
honest. I'll tell you upfront. मैं
Okay.
बोलती
I
हूँ
mean,
कुछ, मगर मैं एडवाइस एज इन एडवाइस नहीं देती हूँ, because
okay.
I really feel giving advice is, I don't know. I think we don't look at the nuances of giving an advice. Is
Hmm.
no two people, it have a similar circumstances, and
Very.
especially when it comes to, like, now today when people ask me what advice do you have, I have no advice. First of all, my advice is not going to work, okay? Because the way people work has changed totally. Their
Yes.
approach to work has changed.
Yeah.
And I have changed so much. I'm not working the way I was working 5 years back. So if I am changing and I am evolving, can you imagine me telling a 30-year-old how to do their work? It's crazy. It's totally useless. So I don't even want to go in that space of giving advice. There can be sharing, I think.
Sharing.
you know
Hmm.
yeah, I think we should share,
Hmm.
because there is a lot that experience offers, and there is a lot that energy for youth offers. So if you can combine that,
Yeah.
I feel, you
Okay.
know uh, that I think works very well. And if I get an opportunity of doing that, I always take that opportunity. And I've always believed, even when I was 14 or 15,
Hmm.
since then till date, I feel we have to respect youngsters. Just
Absolutely.
because they are younger to us by years. There is this whole approach ki inko kya pata hai, what do
Hmm.
they know?
Hmm. Hmm.
Just because we have 15-year lead or 20-year lead over a kid, we
Hmm.
feel we know better. Of course we know better, I'm not denying that.
Hmm.
We have more experience which they
Hmm.
don't have,
Hmm.
but they have a different kind of experience, and
Hmm.
we have to respect that.
Very.
And
Hmm.
I think it's very important to respect them as an individual, because I don't know. This is a different conversation anyway.
This is, yeah, it's a wonderful answer for any parent to even hear. And, from now on, you've taught me something. I'm going to, if I have to talk to my kids who are quite old now and they don't listen to me also. So I'm going to say, I'd like to share something with you rather than say, advice, which
Yeah,
is,
and also you have to see why are they not. You have to also listen. You
yeah, I
know,
understand. Yes. Yeah.
yeah. This is.
You learn
Uh,
so much from them. I think
yes, yes. And hearing and listening are two different things. When we
yeah.
start listening to them, things
Mm,
become much easier. Of course, there are up and downs, and of course, they have their teenage years, and of course, things are difficult. All that is part of life.
mm,
That's this is. I'm not trying to paint a rosy picture here, but
yeah.
if we listen,
Mm,
they will also feel like, you know that importance that you give them, then
mm.
they also open up more, I
Mm.
feel. you know
Yeah. And like you said, things have changed. Earlier on, our relationship was of only respect. You have to listen or, to your
yeah,
parents and not say a word. But now that
yeah.
won't work. That's not going to fly. I mean,
Not at all. That's
yeah.
why I said, since the age of 15, I have this belief, and now. So when I'm saying that is, as a youngster, I was never given a chance. Nobody asked me, okay, what do you think? Okay, tell
Yeah.
me why you're not doing this. And
Mm,
if I said why I'm not doing, and they convinced me otherwise, I
mm,
would have definitely listened. I think
mm.
that goes for every child, you know.
True.
Uh,
Very true.
but we have to, and especially now that we are going changing so fast. Their
Mm,
whole look at actors who approach their work. This is so different. It's so
mm,
amazing to watch them work, because it's nothing like what. And I'm sure when we were, I was in my 20s and doing something, actors before me would have thought, "Ye kya kar rahi hai? What is she doing?"
mm. I know.
Because it that is the whole idea of growing, is that.
Mm, such amazing answers, Sarika ji. It's been wonderful talking to you. In the end, it's just like the only, very simple question, which I'm just curious about. Like you've been in the industry for so long. Can you pick one of or just, I know I'm sure there'd be plenty, but one of your favorite movie, actor, director, and a song, I guess, if you'd like to mention that.
No, no.
Very
This never happened. I personally feel when I have my
Mm.
favorite film is retirement time, and I'm not ready for that.
Acha, okay.
Because when
Okay.
I stopped working
Mm,
in my 20s, I never thought a Parzania would come. Then
mm,
I stopped working again. Then another film came. Then I stopped working again. Now Unchai came. So you really don't know
mm,
till your work is done.
yeah.
Uh, it's very difficult to pick one film uh,
Mm, mm,
for that matter.
okay.
And directors, as far as directors go, I think there are a lot of, again, I have this gratitude
Mm,
towards the universe for giving the opportunity, because no matter how good your intent is, how
mm,
hardworking you are, what matters is to get the opportunities to prove yourself, or
mm,
to, associate with some people. So I think there's a lot of gratitude I have to have, had the opportunity of working with some very, very good directors.
mm,
And they're all very different in their own way. So I can't have a favorite director, because they all come with something
mm,
very different,
mm,
one from the other.
mm. But
And
yeah, you feel more at ease with certain directors and you're more in tuned with them, I think.
actually, I'll tell you, I'm the kind of person, before the film starts
Mm,
or anything, no, I go with very positive energy,
okay.
uh, uh, you know, looking forward to having a great experience uh, working with the director.
Mm,
And 90 to 85 to 90% it works. When it
mm.
doesn't work, it goes very bad. Like,
Oh,
ugh.
yeah.
But then what can you do?
to complete it, I guess. Yeah.
Suddenly you feel, "Arey wow, narration time, you were so good. What happened to you?" You were telling me so nicely, you were discussing the script so nicely, you were telling me about the character, and then you said this costume, that lighting. Hari, what happened to you? Are you the twin brother? Like, it goes, when it goes wrong, it goes so wrong, I can't tell you.
Wow.
So, but most of the time, because also that is, when you pick up projects, you look at all these things. If you and the director are on the same page, like I'm sure the directors also look for the same thing with actors.
Yeah, I
They are
guess.
on the right page.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, at the end of it, Sarika, we'd love to see you much, much more on the screen, on OTT platforms. Anything you want to share about what's coming up in the future?
Yes, there is, but
Mhm.
this one very good thing has happened now is the NDA. We can't discuss anything,
Oh,
and I really like this very much because
acha.
I feel before you have made your film,
Hmm.
you should not talk about it.
Acha.
I genuinely feel,
Ah,
because that is a long, it's a very long journey
okay.
from when you start the film to completion. So
Hmm.
I really don't like to talk about it. So
Hmm.
this NDA really has made me very happy because I don't have to talk about it now. And
Okay. Yeah.
so that is there. But
So we will
yes, there is
wait.
interesting, yeah, there's some very interesting projects. The year has just started, and
Okay.
we'll see how it goes. Who knows
Yeah.
uh, what is in store?
Absolutely. No, no, you have so much to give. And, like old wine, I say, some people just get better with time and age. So you are one of them. And whenever this new project comes in, or we'll be waiting with bated breath to watch.
Thank you so much. That's so kind of you. Really, this all this love that comes is what makes. Uh, I think that's what we all look for more than anything else, is the love and the warmth.
Oh, that will always be with you, Sarika ji. And thank you so much for giving me this time. I
No,
really
thank you so
enjoyed.
much for giving me the opportunity to connect with totally a different set of listeners. It's really great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarika. And you take care. Wishing you the best.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
night
Take
for
care.
you.
Take care.
Bye bye.
I know.
Yes.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Shosha is a creative Indian restaurant located in the heart of Silicon Valley. Shosha is a woman-owned business that serves traditional Indian flavors assimilated with molecular gastronomy techniques. The best Indian bar with happy hours in the Bay Area serves handcrafted drinks inspired by flavors from India with modern craft cocktails that are presented in unique ways. Shosha is a modern take on traditional Indian cuisine. We specialize in corporate luncheon, anniversary celebrations, birthday parties, and catering. Do check us out for a memorable modern Indian dining experience. Shosha is located at 141 South Murphy Avenue in Sunnyvale, California.